are all welcome to our class, that is PSC Start Smart. Today we are going to discuss the exam which was conducted in 2019 February. First 20 questions with their important points we will discuss today. So I once again welcome you all to my class. First question: how many pilgrims, according to Chaucer, were part of the company that arrived at the Tabard as he lay there? Answer: 29. Who was the first to print the Canterbury Tales? Answer: William Caxton. So the points to remember: the Canterbury Tale frame story of Geoffrey Chaucer, written in Middle English in 1387 between 1400s. Okay. Next question. Prothalamion can be considered a dash song, that is nuptial song. Prothalamion, a spousal verse. Spousal means relating to or involving marriage, in honor by the double marriage of Lady Elizabeth and Lady Catherine Somerset, is a poem by Edmund Spenser, one of the important poets of the Tudor period in England. Next question. The main collaborator of John Webster, the Jacobean writer, was Thomas Dekker. This question, or relating to this question, we have studied earlier. In 2020, a question was asked. The question is: the Duchess of Malfi is a well-known play, is in love with dash character or dash person. Do you remember that question? It is Antonio. Okay, some points to remember. Duchess of Malfi tells the story of the spirited Duchess and her love for her trustworthy steward Antonio. The concept of tragedy: there is no divine power to bring ruin and death to the hero. Next question. The theatre in which Shakespeare is said to have had a proprietary interest is the Globe. Points to remember: Globe Theatre was built in 1599 by Shakespeare's playing company, the Lord Chamberlain's Men, on land owned by Thomas Brett, and was destroyed by the fire on 29th June 1613. Next question. Shakespeare relied on the translation of Plutarch's Life by Sir Thomas North. He is an American essayist and translator. Let us see the points to remember. His translation into English of Plutarch's Lives is notable for being the main source text used by William Shakespeare for his Roman plays and tragic heroes. Next question. The first published edition of the collected work of Shakespeare in 1623 is called the First Folio. It is also called the First Folio. This book is also known in the name Mr. William Shakespeare's Comedies, Histories and Tragedy, is a collection of play by William Shakespeare, commonly referred by the modern scholars as First Folio, published in 1623 after the death, 7 years after his death, by his two friends. Next question. For God's sake, hold your tongue and let me move. Let me love is the opening line of the canonization. For God's sake, hold your tongue and let me love is the opening line of the canonization. The points to remember. Canonization is a poem by the metaphysical poet John Donne, published in 1633. The theme is christening of raising the status of pious men or enlisting people among the pious people. The poet in the poem makes a point that they should also be canonized for the way they love each other. Next question. The greater men referred to at the beginning of Paradise Lost is Christ. Here, the theme of Paradise Lost mentioned of three parts. They are disobedience, eternal providence, and the justification of God to man. So the purpose and theme of Paradise Lost is religious and has three parts: disobedience, eternal providence, and the justification of God to man. Mr. Pinchwife is the jealous husband in The Country Wife. The Country Wife is a restoration comedy written by William Vickerley and first performed in 1675. The play reflects an aristocratic and anti-Puritan ideology and was controversial for its sexual explicit even in its own time. The Talter was launched in 1709 by Richard Steele. Talter, a periodical launched in London by the essayist Richard Steele in April 1709, appearing three times weekly until January 1711. Next question. Mac Fleckino is a lampoon on Thomas Shadwell. Lampoon means a satire, isn't it? Yes. We'll just go through the points to remember. The point to remember. Yes. Sorry for taking time. Coming for the points. Okay. Mac Fleckino is a verse mock heroic satire written by John Dryden. It is a direct attack on Thomas Shadwell, another prominent poet of the time. So, as we know that it's a mock heroic satire by John Dryden. Next question. Wordsworth has said that poetry is spontaneous overflow of powerful emotion. By this quote, he implies that poetry comes out of emotion and inspiration. Okay, next question. Lines from Ballad of Sir Patrick Spens are quoted as the epigraph of Dejection and Ode. Dejection and Ode by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, the English Romantic poet, published in 1802, is an exploration of desire, joy, and imagination. Here, dejection is the colorless hopelessness. Okay. Child Herald Pilgrim is an autobiographical work by Byron, John Byron, Lord Byron. It was published between 1812-1880. Provides an insight into the wild beauty of nature and the romantic theme of solitude, melancholy, and the transience of life. Next question. The modern Prometheus is a part of the title Frankenstein. Okay. Mary Shelley's 1818 masterpiece Frankenstein is famously subtitled The Modern Prometheus after the Greek myth of god Prometheus. Next question. Northanger Abbey is a satire on the novel. Which novel? That is the Gothic novel. Okay. Northanger Abbey, one of the first novel, contains some features of sentimentalism, but in particularly it is a parody on the Gothic novel of or the work by Jane Austen. She ridicules the people's desire for something mysterious and supernatural. Okay, next question. The character of Shakespeare's play and on the English comic writers are the work of William Hazlitt. Yes, while talking about William Hazlitt, this first book, The Character of Shakespeare's Play, was published in 1870. It's a criticism of Shakespeare's play by the early 19th century English essayist and literary critic William Hazlitt, and the other book, On the Wit of Humor in English Comic Writer, was published in 1890. The Victorian Compromise and Its Enemies is the opening character of the Victorian age in literature by G.K. Chesterton. While talking about Chesterton, we can remember the points that the work has been selected by the scholars as being culturally important and is a part of the knowledge base of civilization as we know it. Last question for today's. The members of pre-Raphaelitic Brotherhood were primarily painters. Point to remember, the pre-Raphaelitic Brotherhood was pre-Raphaelitic Brotherhood was formed in 1848 by three Royal Academic students, D.J. Rossetti, William Holman Hunt, and John Everett Milias, all under 25 years of age. So I think this was really helpful for you to remember or for the revision class. Next are the questions we will do in the next class. Till then, good luck and study well. Please subscribe our channel and support us. Thank you.